think because I was in the Ford business so long, you know, I think I'm a little harder on them maybe than some of the other brands when we get questions
Oh, you mean like in your newspaper column this week when you were talking about car manufacturers after coming off a record year doing some, quote, really stupid things?
Yeah, that's kind of, but yeah.
So how many people have you heard from inside the industry that were, shall we say, less than pleased with what you wrote about what they're doing with their money, like GM investing $500 million in Lyft? And if you've never heard of Lyft, they're the supposed alternative to Uber, which everyone has heard of. And if I was going to invest in a car, one of those things,
Yes.
it'd be Uber.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've got the most market
But I mean,
share
if
by
I'm
far.
a car manufacturer, I'm going to invest $500 million in making my cars better.
Well, and that was the point of the article was, okay, even when I wrote it, didn't know that General Motors was going to set a profit record for 2015, but I knew Ford had. And, you know, I was honked at General Motors for putting $500 million into an outside company and under the pretense that they're going to learn more about how to integrate cars with cell phones and computers. And I'm going, you guys have got OnStar. You've had it for years. It's a fantastic product. I've got OnStar myself, and I love it. Why don't you study that and keep that $500 million in the bank? Because the car business isn't going to be this good forever. And that's what I get so angry. And I pointed out, I said, you know what? 7 years ago, you're in Washington, D.C. begging for money. 7 years later, you're giving $500 million to Lyft.
Hello.
Short memory. And Mary Barra was there. She was at GM at the time. You can't say, well, she's the CEO.
She's going to do things different. It's a new era.
She's been 20-something years with General Motors. Never had a different job. I mean, she's never worked anywhere else. And you would think, and I guess $500 million to these big car companies just isn't anything. But that blows me away. Put the money away. Put
the ad campaign that Ford used investing in new technologies and stuff that aren't even our cars.
Right.
Job one. And I love the quote you had from the CEO of Porsche this week in our free CarPro newsletter. Somebody had asked him about Porsche and whether they were going to have fully autonomous driverless technology for the brand anytime soon. And he said, and this was translated by Reuters, but I like the translation. He said, one wants to drive a Porsche by oneself. An iPhone belongs in your pocket, not on the road.
And I think he's absolutely right. I mean, some cars are driver's cars. You think I'd want an autonomous Z06 Corvette?
No. Why?
I mean, I got it to drive it.
Yeah.
I don't want it driving for me.
No.
That doesn't make any sense. Let's go to the phones. We talked to Lee in San Diego, California now. Lee, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for holding.